Mini Jake, the tribe has spoken.
Fuck you, Kevin.
Aw, fuck you too, sweetie.
I'm JJ, one of the original Tribe of Nerds members. You can catch me on Marvel, Pokemon, and other gaming podcasts.
What up? It's Josh, resident superhero nerd, but I also dabble in the occasional super villain as well.
Some may know me as the Chaos Gremlin, but really I'm just Joe King.
Pikachu, use Volt Tackle! Good job, Pikachu!
On the Tribe of Nerds. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Tribe of Nerds. Shane and I are here for something super special. We're here for a bonus What If episode, and we're so excited to have with us the winner of Survivor the Australian Outback, from All Stars and Blood vs. Water, Tina Wesson. Welcome, Tina, to the Tribe of Nerds.
Hey, nice to see you all. I don't like that name. You all are not nerds. You're super fans.
We use it as a positive.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. So it's going to be exciting to walk through some what if scenarios with you, Tina, about your time on Survivor. You're 3 times playing. Probably should have been more than 3 times, but
I'm kind of glad, though, I got to say, because I was really, really disappointed about not going to Winners at War, because I just, I always fantasized about that, how great that would be. But then after seeing how they kicked all the old schoolers off right off the bat, I'm like, thank God I did not go and just have to sit there and not even get to play for that whole time. I would have not been happy.
Yeah, it was a slaughter of all the old school favorites for sure. Like it was hard to watch, like Ethan and Ewell and a bunch of them get kicked off right away.
I know, and in real life in Survivor, if you get kicked off, they send you somewhere great to travel, and they couldn't even go anywhere and travel. They just had to be stuck there on that little island.
Yeah, they got lots of peanut butter. It seemed like that was the one thing they got.
Woo! Woohoo!
Yay for peanut butter. All right, well, let's get into the what if scenario. So as everybody knows watching, what if, we're going to ponder the question, go through the Survivor multiverse, bunch of alternate scenarios through Tina's games in Survivor history. So Shane, why don't you kick us off with the Australian Outback?
All right, so let's start off. Obviously, this year, best season, you won it, but let's see, do you still win it, or what happens if something different happens at that first merge immunity challenge where you're standing on that pole and you step down because you know that Keith has prior votes on him. So you do that to kind of protect the Ogakor numbers. What if you don't step down and you win that challenge? What happens? How does the game unfold?
Yeah, what happens is they vote Keith off, and then we are down in our numbers, and then they vote us off one at a time. So, that was definitely a strategic move. But I say all the time, the people who win Survivor, there is an element of logistics and great game playing and things like that goes into it. But there is an element of luck also that goes in every season. If something hadn't gone a certain way, you would have a different winner. Right. Like our season, like right before that, Mike Scoopin had fallen in the fire. So that was another one of the things that helped us with our numbers. Right. And so had Mike not fallen in the fire, I may not would have won. So it's just crazy. It's just crazy how much luck plays into it.
Yeah, for sure. I still think that if they vote off Keith there, I feel like you could have gotten a little farther than you should have and outlasted some of the Cooches, because I could see a scenario where you could have got in with Roger and Elizabeth potentially. Like, I feel like you were really good at navigating the different alliances. Like, you had that alliance with Colby and Keith, but you knew, okay, let's get some numbers and then we can like get off Jerry, and then let's get another Kucha, keep our numbers, and let's get off Amber. I feel like the Kuchas could have done something similar and you would have made it a little further.
Maybe, but Kucha was pretty strong. You know, I'm not sure that they would have allowed any of us in.
Yeah, Shane and I discussed that, like, you probably make it, you know, to like final 5 at least before they get rid of you, and like Elizabeth or Roger might win that season at that point, but
Yeah.
it's hard to say.
I know, never know what could have happened.
Yeah.
Thank goodness it didn't.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I was also thinking, like, because assuming Colby still does the thing to draw votes to him where he jumps off like in a showy fashion where he does the flip off the perch. I mean, in that scenario, do the Kuchas still fall for that, or you know for certain that Keith would have gotten the votes if he's vulnerable?
Keith was going.
Okay.
He for sure was on. That's why I stayed. Well, not just to protect Keith, but I'm, it killed me because I didn't want to step down. Whenever it was just he and I, would have loved to have won the immunity, but I knew he needed it. So, I had to step down for him.
Right.
And so it just killed me, too, how he was like, yes, I'm the best, I'm the greatest. And I'm like,
you let him have it.
That was hard pill to swallow.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, so you win that season, you come back for All Stars, and unfortunately your experience is the complete opposite of your first time, and you are voted out first. But what if you survive that first vote and Jenna Lewis is voted out instead? You and Ethan are able to get Rupert and Rudy to side with you to take Jenna out instead and keep both of you in the game. What happens? Like, how do you guys get that to happen? And what if that happens for you guys moving forward?
Yeah, that's a good question. And it's so funny because with that one, because I was only there 3 days, I don't even remember who all was on the other tribe.
So your tribe was you, Ethan, Rudy, Rupert, Jenna, Lewis, and Jerry.
Okay.
Mogo had Jenna Maraska, Hatch, Colby, Lex, Kathy, and Sheehan. And then Shapira had Amber, Boston Rob, Big Tom, Alicia, Sue Hawk, and Rob Sesternino.
Wow. I'd have to write all those down and go 50-50 because there's a lot on there that I think me and Ethan, between the two of us, and maybe Rudy, he could have pulled a couple people in, but between Ethan and I, we had some pretty close ties on that. So there's a few people, like I don't think Jerry would have hung with me. Oh boy. I've never played with Sheehan.
Yeah, Sheehan. Yeah. She
Never played with her. Don't know anything about her. Don't know what she would have done. So that might have just been a 50-50 toss up.
Yeah. So we can assume, I guess, like if Jenna Lewis goes first, because your original tribe only went to tribal twice, and the second time they voted off Rudy, and let's say you do that again because he was a little weaker there, and then your tribe gets dissolved. So Jenna Lewis went to Shapira. So let's assume you go to Shapira in her place. So it's you and Rupert joining Amber, Boston Rob, Big Tom, and Sue Hawk and Rob Sesternino. So you get to reconnect with Amber. I don't know if that would be a good thing or not.
Bad thing. Very bad. No, I don't think that, she didn't even vote for me in Australia. So
Right.
no, I think there's a little bit of hard feelings there because I was a little too vocal about my attitude with Amber. You know, she was one of the youngest players at the time, and she just did whatever we told her to do. And so I didn't really respect her game that much. And I think I vocalized that a little too much. So I'm not sure Amber or Rob would be very keen on taking me very far.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it would have been interesting. I believe Sesternino might have gotten voted out right before the dissolve. So it would have been Alicia. So Alicia was there.
Alicia would go with me.
Yeah, I think you could have gotten Alicia because, I mean, your ties to her in Australia as well. So
Big
yeah, I mean,
Tom is a yes.
so you would have had the numbers.
Oh, there you go.
Wow.
Yeah, because it seemed like Boston Rob was driving that thing because they didn't have any winners on their tribe. So they're like, well, let's just get rid of the closest thing to a winner, which is Sesternino.
Mhm.
So if you go there, though, if you have the numbers, then he can't get his plan. But you never know because Boston Rob can strong arm people, as we've seen.
Sadly.
Yeah, and I would have to work really, really hard to try to form some kind of anti-Rob campaign. And I would do everything that I could because I don't know about you all, but anytime I've watched him play and I've watched the little zombies like Rob, you know, I'm like, what? What are you doing? You know, so I don't get what magic he puts over people.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because he tried it in Winners at War and it definitely didn't work with a bunch of winners. So I'm very sure that it doesn't work with you. And obviously, I think you're able to pull one over on Rob in that scenario.
I would try. I would have to get creative, but I would try to come up with something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess the one question for me at that point is at least early on, it seemed like it was really like the lesser threats saying these other people are huge threats. They've either won or got close to winning. Let's vote them out early. Do you think that you could have gotten over that hurdle? And because I guess you'd be working with Alicia, and Alicia, I think, was considered a lesser threat, but could you convince her to still work with you and vote out a Rob or an Amber?
Absolutely. I definitely think I could.
It's amazing. It's amazing. And then let's say you do get to, I guess, the second tribe swap, but then the merge, and let's say somehow maybe Colby does make it through, then obviously you have Colby. So would have been a very interesting game at that point.
I know. Darn it. Because, you know, don't tell anybody. But all these seasons, there's pre-gaming going on.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a game before it's ever a game. So
Right.
it's fun to even be a part of that, actually.
Yeah, I've definitely heard stories of things that have happened with the pregame. So, and then the last one is going forward to your last time playing in Survivor Blood versus Water with Katie. And the scenario is that you make it to Final Four. If you get to the end, it's assumed that because you've won and you've made it all the way to the end again, that you would become the second two-time winner in Survivor history. So what if you were able to win that final immunity challenge and you are guaranteed there, you get to vote Tyson Jervis or Monica Culpepper off, and then you make it, what happens? Do you get your second title?
I do. Yep. There were a lot of, by the time we got to the final tribal council, I think there were a lot of hard feelings and people were not fond of Tyson and Monica. So I think I had it hands down.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying that. I mean, I'm usually not a braggadocious person. It's just knowing what the dynamics were on the tribes and, you know, how everybody felt about people. So yeah, if I could have made that last challenge.
Yeah. So if you win that, who would you try to vote out? Would it be Tyson? Yeah.
Yep.
And do you think that
because he was really the mastermind. He played a great game. I mean, I I was ticked off at the time. I gotta say, that's the one thing that season, after it was all over, I learned, and then watching some seasons past that, that I could have handled myself a little bit differently, because I had all these hard feelings about Tyson breaking up the alliance. And I'm like, duh, Tina, now I know, okay, well, that's Survivor. But at the time, I was mad about it. So whenever I got voted off, I just like, I don't want to vote for any of them. What am I going to do? And it was Katie that really convinced me, like, Mom, you know, Tyson's played a great game. He's the one that has really been driving the ship, and he's instigated all this. You know, you gotta vote him to win for his gameplay.
Mhm.
And I, you know, reluctantly did that. But now, you know, I think that I could separate the game from life. But, you know, even up to that third time I played, I still was having such a hard time of separating the two. And now everybody does that.
Right. It's
Yeah.
tough when like you build these relationships with everybody, and you know, I think people kind of take that for granted because it is a social game and you have to connect with people and you have to not annoy people or upset them. So
Yeah. And then going back to that, assuming you win that and you want to vote out Tyson, do you think that Monica and Jervis will also vote Tyson, or do you think a tie would form? And then there's a firemaking
Well,
challenge.
Firemaking. Yep.
So you think it would, I would assume you would say you and Monica vote together and Tyson and Jervis vote together.
Wow. Gosh, I don't know. Okay, so we're saying that
So
Tyson is
you-
gone.
No, so we're saying you win immunity at Final Four and you want to vote out Tyson, but do Monica and Jervis go with you and also vote Tyson, or?
No.
So then we'd
No.
have a tie. I'm assuming you and someone votes Tyson, and then
No, actually, they would vote. All three of them would vote me.
no, you're immune.
Oh, I'm immune.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah.
okay. So let me think. Oh boy, Tyson and Jervis, they would vote off Monica. They were part of a boys' club.
mm.
Yeah. And do you think Monica would vote with you for Tyson, or would she vote with Jervis and make it a 2-1-1?
Oh, I think she would vote with me.
Okay.
I think she might would vote with me.
So then
Right.
we have Tyson and Monica firemaking. Does Tyson win that?
Whoa. That, you know what? That's a 50-50, because I believe that would be a 50-50.
Okay. So yeah,
I
if
think they
Monica
would be
wins,
pretty
and then-
equally matched.
Yeah, I have no idea who would win that between the two of them. Like, I don't know. I mean, like if Monica beats Tyson there, I mean that's pretty crazy. So
And wouldn't that be fun? This is kind of a fun little game, isn't it?
yeah, I love walking through these alternate scenarios. So
That
yeah, so
is
if Monica
fun.
beats Tyson and it's you, Monica, Jervis, obviously you're going to win that. Is it a blowout, or do you think Monica gets a vote?
Oh, I think it's a blowout.
What about if it's you, Tyson, and Jervis? So Tyson beats Monica in firemaking. What do you think?
Wow.
I
I
assume
think-
you would still win, but
I think I would still win, but I think Tyson would get some votes.
yeah, I could see Tyson maybe picking up 2 or 3, but I do think that you get like 5 or 6, right? Yeah, I still think it's closer. But yeah, against Monica and Jervis, I definitely think it is like 8-0, 9-0. So
yeah. Okay, so now you're a 2-time winner. How does that change perceptions of like the returning players in future seasons? Because at this point, you know, we get game changers after, and then we get winners at war. And Tony kind of brings it up in Winners at War, where he's like, oh, the big threats are actually these hyenas, like the more under the radar players. And that's because, you know, Sandra was the under the radar player and wins twice. Now, what if it's you and Sandra both win twice? Do you think that will put the target on, you know, less of these like Boston Rob type players in returning player seasons, and maybe like Tony doesn't go out early in game changers? Or do you think the perception is still the same?
I think the perception's still the same. And, you know, even like on All Stars, when they voted me off first, I'm like, I told Mark Burnett whenever I knew that I had been asked to go, I said, you're going to have to put the winners on the same tribe. I said, if you don't, they're just going to vote them out one by one, which is what they did. So, because even if I wasn't a winner, I would vote. I mean, it's an easy vote. You know, I mean, things that are difficult with your loyalties, that's one thing, but it's kind of like first off the bat, okay, that's an easy vote. That's an easy vote, you know? So, yeah, I think it puts a huge target on you.
Yeah. And we saw in All Stars, like obviously a more under the radar player won, and Boston Rob was more like under the radar because he didn't even make the jury his first time. And both of them were on the tribe that had no winners on it, and that tribe lasted the longest. So that was interesting that they had done that, where they put you and Ethan together, they put Jenna and Hash, and that tribe had no winners.
Right.
Yeah. I'm actually like wondering, like, let's say they do that where they put the winners and Sesternino, and then, because if there were only 4 of you, then they would have had to put 2 others who were close to winning. So Sesternino and, like, I don't know, I'm trying to think of who the 6th person would be on that cast. I mean, unless they had cast like Brian or Vesapia or Sandra. But yeah, I think that's an interesting scenario to think about too. So, well, this has been fun to go down memory lane and talk about alternate universes, alternate possibilities. So thank you so much, Tina, for joining us on the Tribe of Nerds, and definitely subscribe to the channel, and we will see you all next time on the Tribe of Nerds.